What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be telling you about my public school experience. Since I now graduated high school, I decided that I was just gonna tell y'all a little bit about my experience in public school and kind of the transition to homeschool. So, I consider public school kindergarten, and basically from kindergarten. Pre-K, it's I guess public school, yeah, pre-K up. Pre-K was good and everything. It was all chill. And then elementary school, so kindergarten, I loved kindergarten. Kindergarten and 4th grade were probably my favorite times ever in public school. I don't know why, everything was easy. Everything was fun and easy in 4th grade and in kindergarten, so that was always great. Also, I have a hat on because my hair is chopped right now. Yeah, let me tell you. So, the way my elementary school worked, it's K through 8, kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. We had a different building. It was smaller. We had I'm not gonna say the school name or anything, but the school we had was way smaller than the new school we had. And so, I was in that old school for 3 years. Kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade. Now, how it works is, in kindergarten, you have one teacher. And then when you get into lower elementary is 1st through 3rd grade. And so 1st through 3rd grade, you have the same teacher for 3 years. And then in upper elementary used to just be 4th and 5th grade. But when we transferred schools, I think the whole district, upper elementary, became 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. And so then middle school used to be 6th, 7th, and 8th. But now it's 7th and 8th grade. And so that's just kind of how that works. We didn't do the whole junior high thing because we went to a K through 8 school. I'm pretty sure there are probably junior highs in our city. But by the way, if you hear anything in the background, that's just the tools being worked on. But yeah, we just didn't have that, right? So I was supposed to have the same teacher for 3 years, but I left for public homeschool for 6th grade. But I didn't have the same teacher at all, any year at all. For kindergarten, obviously. 1st grade, my teacher had a stroke and I had to be transferred to a different class. 2nd grade, it was all good and I was in a different class. But 3rd grade, I transferred out again because the teacher the teacher wasn't treating me as she treated the other students. She's not being equal. She wasn't being kind. And at the time, I didn't know that, but now I do. It's the microaggressions, I think is what they call it, but she wasn't aggressive. It was just one of those situations where she saw all her other students one way except for me. And so, yeah, I'm not going to touch too much on that, but yeah. And then I transferred out 3rd grade. And then obviously after 3rd grade, you graduate to upper elementary. That's how that works. And so then we went to 4th grade. And then after that, they decided they wanted to make all these changes. You're not allowed to wear your sweater around your jacket or your sweater or whatever around your waist because the principal thought it looked tacky. You weren't allowed to do all these different things. And so I was like, okay. And the class that I loved in 4th grade, I was I'm so excited to finally be in a classroom for all 3 years and to finally just have that upper elementary experience so many of my other friends had. My best friend James at the time, he had the same teacher for all 3 years of lower elementary, and I was oh my gosh, he is lucky, because I wanted that so badly, but I didn't get it. And then 4th grade, we were in the same class, and all of our friends, we were all, except for Carter, man. But then 5th grade, we all got transferred. All my friends got transferred into the same class because they decided they want to make our favorite teacher 4th grade only, which was really dumb, honestly. That was just such a dumb thing because then you had 2 classes that had crazy amounts of students, and so because we ended up having the most students in the class, we were kind of last for a lot of things in school because our class had the most students except for middle school, because middle school only had 2 teachers, English and reading, and then math and science. That's just how it worked, right? So they had 2 teachers, but everybody was just kind of a group down there. And I was so excited to be finally I get to go to the basement. Because the basement, well, it wasn't really the basement. We had a basement that we had there was an underground area where all the middle schoolers were. They had a giant room. They just got to work on the couches and wherever they wanted to work. And it looked so cool. I was oh my goodness, I cannot wait to do that. I didn't get to do that. I did not get to do that. Because then after that, that whole experience of 5th grade, the teachers just did a complete 180. There were a lot of things that they would do that we didn't really agree with, and they were like stricter. They were stricter. They were used to teaching older students. They were used to teaching, like, I'm guessing 13-year-olds and up. But all of us, we were 9 to 11 years old. 12 was the oldest. And so they had a standard. And it was basically one of those things where it's like, it felt like fun was not allowed. And it was like, it was a tight ship, but the rules they implemented were things that didn't even have to be made rules, but they were made rules anyways. And so it just didn't make sense. And so the rules didn't make sense. And so you'd get in trouble for something almost every day or every week. And so you'd really just be out here confused. And public school for 5th grade, awful. And then I was homeschooled. I hated 7th grade, honestly. 7th grade was awful. Look, it's like I was always a person, if I didn't understand something, I needed help. I needed somebody to explain it to me in a way I would understand. And not just supposed to be the way they were taught it. Because if they explained it to me in a way I understood, then once I understood it, I would never need help on it again, and I would understand what I needed to know. But it was also just a thing of everybody works at a pace, and if you aren't a favorite, it's like you don't get helped. That's kind of what some classes in public school are like, is if you aren't a favorite, or if they don't love your parents, they aren't going to really help you. They don't really like you. And so that was just a thing of you were classified as the dumb kid or the smart kid, basically if you are a favorite or not. Or if they liked your parents. And so that was just the whole situation entirely. But 4th grade was like the best. I feel like if I had that same teacher for 5th grade, I might not have been homeschooled, honestly, just because of that experience. But it was just really public school. There were good and bad moments. I loved the friends. I love the social aspect of public school, but not I like the educational aspect of homeschool and the public aspect of public school, because for me, I would not, if I had to be homeschooled all over again the same way, I couldn't do it. I would not survive. I mean, so for real. The loneliness you feel, it's like you're doing homeschool with your siblings, but you've been with your siblings your entire life. So at that point, it's like siblings fight and everything. They get sick of each other. That's just what they do sometimes. We are back. Oh my gosh. But basically, the camera overheated. So then, like a few hours later, when I am doing this video, yeah. Okay, as I was saying, public school. So, public school for me, it worked out until it didn't. The people were nice until they weren't. And that's okay. I'm gonna need my energy for this video. So, I got a drink here. Ooh. That's good. I went to bed at like 1 something. So, yeah. That's good. Okay, but as I was saying, public school was just a situation where I could not thrive. And it was a type of environment where you either were able to catch up or you didn't. And it's like a thing of, if I understood something, I'd be better at it than a lot of other kids. And so you like have me out here trying to figure out all these different problems and things, but I can't go forward. That's the thing I didn't like about 5th grade, is that everybody goes at the same pace. And so because the teachers chose to not help you when you needed help, they only helped their favorites, and I basically gave their favorites all the answers. And when you do that, it creates a thing of I can't ask for help because I'm not favorited, basically. 5th grade kind of ruined the public schools experience for me. That, and when your school, a red flag in a school is when they don't even have an actual mascot and they call their mascot the peace sign. Like, that's like concerning. But my experience in public school was good and bad, but the bad outweighed the good. But I thrived in homeschool in the educational aspect, but not the social aspect. So if you guys do, like, if your parents homeschool right, you will thrive in the educational and social aspect. And a lot of the times other people work better around their peers and like that competition. One thing about me is people, there's that saying, you're either a diamond or dust. Because when you crush up coal, either it becomes a diamond or it becomes dust. So it's like, basically, can you handle the pressure or not? And it's the thing of, when people make you feel bad, like, school should not make you feel awful for not knowing something when they spend 30 minutes teaching it to you, then refuse to help you. They'll show you only one method, and then but then it'll be a completely different method on a test that they haven't even taught you. What is on my... I need to figure that out. Okay, but yeah. Public school is not for everybody. I can 100% say that. However, there are great teachers out there. I've had some great teachers. I've had some teachers that were like, I understand how you are, and I'm going to help you, like, I'm going to try to help you, but you have to want me to actually help you. And I want them to help me, to actually help me with my work and things. And some teachers were just really good. Some people were like, this teacher's so mean. But then I get this teacher, and I think to myself, she's really good. But at the same time, I think it was also just because she doesn't have favorites. This is one of those teachers where people say, oh, she was so mean and she was so awful. But it's this thing of, she never had favorites. She treated everybody equally. So if you messed up, you did get in trouble. And she wasn't going to be, even if she praised you for one thing. And it was just a whole situation where, then again, she might have been mean to other students, but she just wasn't mean to me, you know? She was very kind. And I really appreciate kind people too. So that's just my experience in public school. I just decided to share it because a lot of y'all, if you've watched the videos, you know I went to public school before I became homeschooled. But I started my YouTube channel like a year or two after I had started public homeschool. So yeah. But in upcoming videos, I'll explain more like my school life and everything. Basically, now that I've graduated, I guess I feel like I can tell you more about schooling and everything, how that was. And I'll kind of tell you my homeschool experience as well. So yeah. And that's it. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.